Hello and welcome to Zen Den Stories. My name is Luke Pearce, and at Zen Den Stories, we tell stories that help you to think differently. And today I want to share a tale with you of a young lady, a young daughter, who significantly changed the way that her mother thinks, feels, and acts. You see, it was only not too long ago that this little lady was going through life, doing the things that she wanted to do, going to school, learning, failing, eating your lunch, doing all the things that you do when you go to school. And then she grew up into a young lady, and she had many more challenges and many more hurdles to overcome. She had to learn how to deal with social interactions. She had to go through the whole boyfriend, girlfriend thing and, the first love and getting your first job, learning how to drive a car, doing all these sorts of crazy tasks that we do as people. And we never really give that much thought to doing these sorts of things. But if you really think about it, we learn a lot. We go through a lot in a very short amount of time. You think about it, after you're born, you have to learn literally how to eat. You have to learn how to sleep. Who would have thought that learning how to sleep was a thing? Then you have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to talk. Then you have to go to school. And then, like I said, you work your way up through the ranks. You keep on going, next level, next level, next level. And you end up to where you finish school and you're free to go and do whatever it is that you want to do. So you go out, you get a job, you try different things. You work out what you like and what you don't like. And this specific lady went out into the world and she found out exactly what she did not want. She had all sorts of experiences where it was just really tough. There's a massive amount of suffering. There's a massive amount of sacrifice and change. But she pushed through. She kept on going. And as we all do, we get through things. No matter what life has thrown at you so far, you've gotten through it. You've made it to here right now, listening to the sound of my voice. So you've made it. And there will be many, many more things in the future that will be your present moment in that time that you'll have to deal with, that you'll have to do. And they might challenge you very significantly. But I think one very powerful and beautiful thing to understand is that you've gotten through everything so far. And no matter what has happened, and no matter when it has happened, you have drawn on your own experiences, your own self in order to get through it. I think that's a very beautiful and powerful thing to understand. But you see, this lady grew up, and like I said, she went out in the world. She found out what it is that she wanted and what it is that she didn't want. She had a little family of her own. And then all of a sudden one day, she thought, you know what? No more. No more ever again. No more suffering, no more pain, no more heartache. I've had enough. And she changed the game totally and completely. You see, not only did she change the game for herself, but she changed the game for her family. She changed the game for her husband, her kids, her friends. And not only that, but because she went through such a profound shift herself, she made it her mission. She made it her purpose. She made it her goal, her strategy within life to go out and help others to be free from the past, free from the pain, free from all the things that are holding them back. And I tell you what, this lady, she went out there, she absolutely gave it her all. She went out, she helped all the people that she ever came into contact with. And I mean, like, really helped them, not just help them walk their, car to wherever it is that they're going, but I'm talking about actually significantly changing their life. And I think that's another really powerful thing to think about Walking someone to their car, yeah, that might help them out. Helping someone out with their groceries, yes, that might help them out. Helping someone to change their beliefs, their values, and their identities, help them to believe within inside themselves, help them to change the way that they live their life for not only their own self, but also their children, their grandchildren, and you know, that cycle to generations to come is very, very, very profound. So what happened was she went out into the world and she started to create her business, her brand. She created this big old mission that she was doing. And it really did, like I've been saying, help people change the way they think, feel, and act. Now, along this journey, she had to learn many different things, just like you did, just like she did when she first came into this world. Because sometimes when we start things again, it's like learning from step one. You got to learn how to walk again. You got to learn how to sleep again. You got to learn how to eat, all these different things, but maybe it's just in a different context. Because when you're older and you go into a new venture, maybe you go into a new business or a new area or environment, or whatever it might be, you might need to learn how to talk differently. You might need to learn how to hold yourself differently, think differently, behave differently, feel differently. And all this change can create a significant amount of pain, suffering, stress, and all the things that go along with change. But the beauty of it is, this lady, she kept on going. And I mean, you know, life really threw everything it had at her. She got through it step by step. One day she'd be crying, the next day she'd be on, you know, cloud nine. And that's how it works, because in order to feel the highest of the highs, then you got to feel the lowest of the lows. Because if you did not know the difference between the both, you would not be able to experience either one of them. Because yes, it may feel like you're experiencing the highest of the highs, and then the next day you're experiencing the lowest of the lows. But what you're experiencing is life. You see, some people, myself being one of them back in the day, some people want to only experience the greatest of the greats. Nothing wrong with that. Or maybe there is, who knows? But what they do is they're actually not wanting to experience the so-called baddest of the bads. And they reject the bad. They try and delete the bad. They try to distort the bad, the negativity within their life. And they only want to accept the positive. Well, my friends, we both know that that is an illusion. That's not the world we live in. We live in the world of the two-sided coin. We live in the world of the hot and cold, in and out, up and down. But the thing is, if you were to reject one of the sides of the coin, then you would be rejecting the whole coin. I'm going to say that again. If you were to reject one part of the coin, you would reject the whole coin. Now, this is a very powerful lesson. Very powerful lesson, because this lady that went through her life, that changed so many things, got to a point where she didn't know what to do. She got to a point where things, started to become really hard, because everything has been so good for so long. She worked so hard in order to live the life and create the life that she wanted. And all of a sudden, out of the blue almost, she started to feel not so good. Maybe she started to doubt herself. Maybe she started to think about all sorts of crazy things that maybe she thought once upon a time in the past. And she didn't like that. And you could understand. Imagine working so hard to get to a certain point, and then all of a sudden, you have to relive that all over again. That would be like being on a boat that is sinking, finally getting the water out of the boat and think to yourself, oh my, thank God for that. Only to find another hole where the water is coming in. You could understand how frustrating that could be. Hugely. I've been there myself. But like I said, this lady, she was strong. She was very, very strong. She was very, very wise. She knew exactly what it is that she wanted. So she kept on going. She kept on going. She kept on going. She tried going to the beach. She tried relaxing. She tried doing not that much at all. And for whatever reason, it still started to really get to her. Because now, the relaxing and taking a little bit of time off, so to speak, which is really still time on because you can't have time off, was starting to get to her. Because she was starting to resist the resistance. And that's a very, very dangerous thing to do. People fear. And that is probably more fearful than the fear itself. People get sad about being sad. And that's more sad than the sadness itself. People get angry about being angry. And sometimes that is more dangerous than the anger itself. So all these things are life lessons that we all need to learn. And the only way that we can learn is to actually do life itself. Because teachers and books and all these sorts of things, courses, they don't necessarily teach. They definitely give us a heads up. They definitely give us the knowledge and the, hey, this could very well happen. But the actual learning and experiencing that lesson, that is the role of life itself. So it's very important when we're going through these different kinds of things. Yes, you might know about it. Yes, you might have much wisdom and much knowledge on it. But until you experience it and put all that knowledge and wisdom into action, well, then things don't really work. But the good thing is as you go through life, you learn this lesson. You experiencing, life itself. And all of a sudden, every time it happens, you think to yourself, I know exactly what it is that I need to do. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, guess what? You're still here and you still get through it. And that's a very powerful and important thing to remember. Just think about the person that's in the boat. And the water's coming in. They've got this little bucket and they're trying to bail out the water as much as they can. They finally get to the point where the water is low enough where they find there's a hole in the bottom of the boat. So they plug the hole in the bottom of the boat. They keep on throwing out all the water. And guess what? The boat has no water in it anymore. They're free to sail, cruise, go wherever it is that they want. Now, this is something that's very fundamental to remember. Next time that boat has a hole in it, because it will happen. If you're going to sail the seas, your holes, there's going to be holes in your boat. It's going to be guaranteed. You have to remember, what did I do last time? What did I do last time in order to get through this? What did I learn? What did I forgive? What did I let go of? What did I think, feel, or act about differently in order to get my water out of the boat? And that's exactly what this lady did. She thought to herself, oh my God, what did I do last time I was going through this really strange and, difficult time? I embraced that the hard times allowed me the wisdom and the knowledge to experience the great times, the high times. And not only, did she make this realization, but when she went home, her young daughter was out in the backyard and they were playing. And the young daughter was singing a song. And the song went something a little bit like this. I can't go over them. I can't go round them. I can't go under them. Uh-oh, I'll have to go through them. And in that moment, she burst into laughter. Because that little song that little, precious lady was singing was the exact same experience of what that lady was having. And it's so true within life. It's like, you can't go around it. You can't go over it. You can't go, under it. Guess what? You've got to go through it. And I think when you make that fundamental connection within your mind that everything it is that you're going through, no matter how hard it is, and trust me, I've been through some pretty hard times within my life, and as have you and a lot of other people on this world, but when you understand that those hard times are the things that make the truly great times, well, then you can start to look at things very differently. Then you can start to look at these hard times as gifts rather than burdens and challenges and things that you shouldn't have to experience. As you go through challenging times, your character gets built. And if you really think about it, weak characters never last in movies, do they? No, they're always the first to go. Characters that have, strength, determination, wisdom, love, acceptance, compassion, all these sorts of things within all these movies that we watch, they're the people that have actually gone through different things within that movie. That's why when you listen to people, whether they be motivational speakers or, podcasts or audios like this or videos like this or whatever it might be, you relate to the person talking because of their character, not necessarily what it is that they're saying. So understand that literally, this is a crazy one. Understand that the life that you are living right now, the whole thing is a character building exercise. Because you get to choose this character. You get to choose how they respond. You get to choose what they look like to a certain degree. And that's very, very powerful. That's very powerful to understand that you are the one that is actually creating the character. And that your character is so unique. It's never been, in existence itself, and it never can be replicated in existence itself because it's happening right now. And I tell you what, it is a very, very humbling bit of information to remember what it is that you've gone through, what it is that you've experienced, what it is that you have came out the other side of, and you've still been able to get to this point right now within your life. Listen to me ramble on about many stories, about many things that you can learn how to do things differently, can't you? But I think it's very, very profound when you link up all the lessons that you've got out of this story, whether you've got them consciously or unconsciously, and you allow yourself to actually use them. And you might even feel that shift within inside yourself now. Maybe you even felt it, 10 minutes ago. But whatever you're doing now, whether you're running, walking, driving, sitting at home, doing whatever it is that you're doing, know that things have already changed. The way that you look at your life has already changed. And just remember the song that little girl was singing. You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You can't go round it. Oh, you'll have to go through it. Because the only way to get through life is to do exactly that. Go through it itself. I really hope you enjoyed episode 1 of the Zen Den Stories. Until next time, be good at whatever it is that you're doing, and I'll talk to you very soon.